good. Hi. Still haven't grasped that concept on like starting a video. So, hi. Where do I start? How do you do this? I was doing like my wee weekly vlog, and then I started talking about do I need a necklace? Do I need my glasses off? No, glasses on. I look like a mouse. Oh my god. I was talking about like life lessons, and then I started like getting into it as I do. So I was like, you know what, might do a wee sit down video. So I wrote them all out in my wee notes, and there was 18, and I was like, you know what, 18 lessons as an 18-year-old. So I was going to do them. That's what I'm going to do now. So the first one is, they're not in any order or anything, they're just like things that I've sort of learnt in the last year. And I was going to say, like, if I learnt these earlier, you know, just steal my wardrobe. Oh my god, they're my wings for our dress up this weekend. I was going to say, like, if I learnt these earlier, I think I would have been like a lot happier in life. But I mean, if I had learnt them earlier, I would have made different decisions and I wouldn't be here. So these are just things, and I wouldn't have learnt these lessons because the things have happened that like bad things have taught me these. That makes sense. So drop my phone. First one is like obviously debatable, but it's like nothing's permanent, and I think sometimes you have to like take that into consideration. Like when you're making a decision, you're like, if I can say like one more time, I don't think it's possible. Like going to uni, I was like, oh my god, like if I don't go to uni now, I'm never gonna go. No, it's not permanent. Nothing's permanent. Nothing is permanent in life, isn't it? No, like the people, you need to be grateful for the people as well, because they're not gonna be there forever. But yeah, nothing's permanent. Like, don't make a decision and think too far into the future. Just take it day by day, because you know what, change your mind, change it up. Second one is, the people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. That's like a very cliche statement, like it's been around forever, but I love it because it's so spot on. And where is it? Oh yeah, the people who mind don't matter. See, if you make a decision and someone has some criticism to say about it, they don't matter, because the key people in your life, and there isn't that many. Like, do you remember when you were younger and you like felt the need to have like, maybe this was just us, but like 150 streaks, and like you thought everyone that you spoke to was your friend, and then you're like, you actually, as you grow up, you're like, oh wait, I understand the true definition of friend. It's like that. The friends and family and the people who matter, they don't care what you do as long as you're happy. And if someone bad has to say about it, they don't matter anyway. People who aren't supportive don't matter. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. That's anything. I remember like even saying to my mummy and daddy, like, I'm gonna go travelling. They're like, yeah, you are. I was like, you know, you have to be proactive about stuff though, like, but if you put your mind to it and you get the means and you do it all, then it's possible. I seen this quote, and it was like, impossible is just an opinion. I suppose getting to the Olympics is impossible to some people, but I mean, if you work hard enough, you're going to get there. Getting through university seems impossible. Me getting my A-level seemed genuinely impossible at like many stages, and now I'm out and I'm into all my universities of my choice, and that at one stage was impossible, but impossible is just an opinion. People are going to talk. People are going to talk literally whatever you do, whether you do it, you don't. They're going to talk well. They're going to talk bad. They're going to talk. They're going to talk whatever you do. So you may as well just do what you're happy, because people are gonna talk whether you do it or not. So just make the decision that makes you happy. Choose the decision that makes you, the choice that makes you, you know what I'm saying? Do the thing that makes you happy. And like, my glasses are annoying me. And you know what? It'll all go grand. Same thing, if it makes you happy, it doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. And I suppose like this just depends on your like, if it makes you happy, it doesn't need to make sense. Pretty simple, but then you can go into like, like, what is your definition of happy? Like, it isn't going to make sense to anyone. Like, this was one that I was talking to my daddy about. My daddy was like, I don't know, I'm gonna play golf. I'm like, this does not make me happy. Traveling makes me happy. Spending money on traveling makes me happy. Spending money on clothes makes me happy. Whereas for some people, it's going to the pub all day. And you know what? We don't have to understand it, so they don't have to understand our definition of happiness either. So, yeah. There's no true timeline on life. That is the sixth one. That's really hard to understand. I think, especially at this age, a couple of years older as well. It's difficult. Like, you know, even with social media as well. Like, you see everyone like posting like their achievements. First of all, also, yeah, you see everyone posting their achievements. No one posts their non-achievements. No one. I don't post my bad days. Yeah, like, people are posting like engagements and stuff, and you're like, oh my god, like, I should be getting engaged. And like, even like, I know if I go to university, like, I'll be graduating. My arms so numb. I'll be graduating like years after my friends, and like, to me, I was like, oh god, no. But I'm like, people could graduate at 25 and go into a job and then choose a new degree at 28, whereas I could graduate at 27 and then be a CEO at 30. You know what I mean? People could get engaged at 21 and get married at 23 and be divorced at 40. I could meet the love of my life at 40 and be married for 50 years at 90 and still as in love as ever. Do you know what I mean? Every single person has a different timeline in life, and it's going to work out perfectly for you. One that my coach always said to me was, if it's for you, it won't pass you. And like, what's meant to be will always find a way. Like, I think that when you think like, you believe that you really want something and it goes past, and you're like, why? The universe is literally just making room for the thing that's really meant for you. Like, if university's for you, like, it won't pass you. It won't. Like, you'll get there in a way, at whatever age, because if it's for you, it won't pass you, and if it passes you, it wasn't for you to begin with. Like, the universe is making room for something that is actually for you. This one, no, right, so it's like, you'll never have to dull yourself for the right people. You'll never have to change or anything for the right people. See, when you find that you realise one day, like, you're around the right people, it's gonna be mad. Like, I remember, like, growing up, it was like, you talk too much, and now I'm around people that are like someone turned around to me last week and I was just talking, and like, if I was around people that I used to be around, they'd literally be like, Anna, shut up, and then they were like, you talk a lot of sense, and like, I could listen. Someone said to me, like, I could listen to you all day, and I was like, normally I'm told to shut up and I'm annoying, I'm too loud. Like, if I was to be around the people that I used to be around now, like, and I just went on this way, they'd be like, oh my god, you're too loud. Whereas like, I find myself around the girls and they're like, they're just laughing, and they're like, oh my god, Anna, you come out with so much stuff, like, it's funny. And like, one of the girls said that to me, and it just made me think about all of it, and I was like, oh my god, like, I'm around the right people now. And like, even in a relationship, like, you're gonna be so perfect for someone. Like, you're someone's definition of perfect. Is that mad? Like I remember, this is so depressing, right? But I remember when I was younger, I was like, be obsessed with this boy, and he told me that my freckles made me look like someone had, like, you know, done like the motorbike. They were like on a motorbike and they throw the mud up. He told me that's what my freckles look like, and now I hate my freckles. And then I met someone and they were like, yeah, like, that was the first thing, like, that I was attracted to, was like, your freckles. Or like, I loved your freckles. I was like, okay, I love you, marry me. But, you know, that says it all. You're just perfect for someone, and you're someone's idea of perfect. I just think that's mad. Like, you are someone's idea of perfect, and like, a lot of people's ideas of perfect, probably. Like, when I tell people I hate my freckles, they're like, oh my god, like, I draw my freckles on, and I'm like, nah. That's the thing though, I love everyone else's freckles, I hate my own. But that is a story for another time. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Like, you'll never improve, like, staying in your comfort zone. I mean, if you're comfortable and you feel safe, okay, but I personally don't believe that you're going to go anywhere. I was thinking this in terms of running as like a physical thing, like in my head. See, when I start hurting on a run, that's when I start improving. Like that's where the improvements are made, is when you're out of your comfort zone. But in like life, like coming here was like a very uncomfortable experience, but like it pushed me out of my boundaries, and now like I feel like I can do a lot more because I took that risk. Then um and the 10th one is, if you find good in a situation, if you find something good and you like walk out of a situation like content or like with good things, to me, my definition of success, like that is my definition of success, like being able to come out of like a situation happy and like not dwelling on the bad things. Me, I think like you're pretty successful, like you're going to be happy and positive in life. This is like obviously my personal lessons. Like if I can take a good thing from every situation, personally that's what's helped me become like a happier, more positive person. And I think that that leads me to have like more control over my life, like taking good things from the situation. The 12th one is, money comes back, time doesn't. This is coming from an 18-year-old girl who has the means to travel and do the things. I'm not saying this as like, I mean, if you're in uni, get up and leave. No, I'm not saying it like that, but I'm saying it in like for example, we were going to book somewhere like next week, and I was like, oh god, like I could put that money towards like when I move city, and I was like, you know what, them memories are going to last forever. The money is going to make the money in like a couple of days of working. Like if it means working a bit more, it means like living off my means for a couple of days. You know what, them memories are like, they're always going to be there. And like I think that when you die, and if you die with, say I like, there's being responsible obviously, but say I like died with all these like, I wanted to save all my money and I died 30 with no memories because I missed opportunities, because I was like, no, I don't want to spend that money. Where's that money going to go? I'm going to die with no memories and a lot of money, and the money's going to be, money is nothing when you're dead. Do you know what I mean? The 13th one is, really appreciate the moment that you're in, because past you would have done anything to be there. I think that is the biggest one in my life, because like the biggest lesson that I've learned, because I find that when I get like another opportunity, I'm like, yeah, frig everything, let me go. Like for example, like we were looking at a new place to live, and I was like, yeah. Whereas like if you told me like even a month ago, before like anything else come up, that I would be like, I could stay in Seville for another month, I'd be like, yeah please, I never want to leave here, ever ever ever. Whereas like I found myself being like, oh no, get me out of here, and I'm like, no, I would have done anything to get here a couple of months ago. So you know, like, say well done and like appreciate it. Same thing like a job wise, like if you make a million straight away, you're like, nah, I've got it, I want to make a million. Whereas like, you know what, pardon me, like keep working, but you know, take a minute and be like, if you told me 10 years ago I'd be here, I would not believe you. I find it with running as well. It's like, you had a 6 minute mile and you're like, right, 5:30. And then you 5:30 and you're like, 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes, you're like 4:30. You try to get 4:30 and then you're like, oh yeah, this is whatever, and you're like, oh, I only got 4:30, and you're like, oh my god, if you had told me like 2 years ago I would have been beating 6 minutes, I wouldn't believe myself. So you know what, like always work for more. Like, because once you're the best, the only person you're competing against is yourself. And like you just have to keep improving. But you know what, just take a minute and be like, go me. Go me. It doesn't really make sense, but that's a personal one. If it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend 5 minutes talking or thinking about it. That is a lot easier said than done, because if something annoys you, it annoys you, and that's it. But it's not going to be relevant. Can you remember what annoyed you that day and why you ruined your whole day? Like, over one statement or one thing that only took a couple of seconds. Like, if, oh my god, what is that statement? It's if, right, say there was a million seconds in it, I know there's not, right, but if something happened over a 10-second period of time, it's like, right, so if you had a million seconds in it, £1 million, and you lost a tenner, would you throw away the whole million? No, you wouldn't. But that's what you're doing by sacrificing your whole day by thinking about something that's bothering you over a 10-second scenario. When you think about it like that, it's actually mad. You're like, I'm throwing away all my peace, all my inner peace, all my happiness, and all my day thinking about something bad. And it won't matter in 5 years. It's not really that relevant. Another funny one is it's all part of the plot. It's all part of the story. I love that one. That is just like, to me, when I get like annoyed over something, I'm like, oh, be something to tell the grandkids. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just has to happen. Just part of the story. Just adding a bit more details. Take the risk or lose the chance. Says it itself. Just do it. Just do it. And it's like, my arm. Like, see if something bad happens from a situation. There it is there. But if something good happens, it's way up there. Like, they're not even. It's like way up here. And like, you can't compare them because the good will always outweigh the bad. Like, the good outcome, like, it's not comparable. It's just not. It's that Disney statement. It's like, oh, what if I fall? And it's like, is that Peter Pan? It's like, oh darling, but what if you fly? Like, there is a 50-50 chance, if there is even a 50-50 chance, but that 50% of good is like, it's going to feel so much better. It obviously is going to feel better than bad, but Anna, what are you saying? Like, the feeling, they're just not comparable. Like, the good outcome is always going to outweigh the bad. 16th one is annoying yourself over something doesn't change the situation, it just disturbs your inner peace. That is for the smallest things as well. Like, this came up because it was like packages. I've been waiting packages for like 3 weeks and paid next day delivery. I wasn't even talk about the cost of it, but yeah, paid next day delivery and it's been like 3 weeks. And the girl's like, oh, I'd be so annoyed. And you know what? It is easy to get annoyed because if it annoys you. But by you getting annoyed, is that going to change the situation? Probably not. Like, after a race, it's like, you're annoyed. And it's like, okay, you're annoyed, but is you working yourself up gonna rewind that time, make you run faster and change it? No. Just learn your lesson, move on, and all you're doing is interrupting your inner peace by annoying yourself over a situation. Look how bad I need my yard. That's actually quite, that's been like 4 months. Yeah, I've been here for 4 months. No, I haven't. I got to Christmas. 3 months. Before Christmas. 3 months. The 17th one is, don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. I said that to one of the girls and she was like, that's so spot on. It says it for itself. Like, why should I be listening to people's comments that I wouldn't take their advice from? I don't think that they make good choices. If I don't think that they make good decisions and they have good preferences, why should I be changing my own decisions to match their criticism? Does that make sense? Probably not. I am babbling. Last one, and the most cliche statement in the world is, life's not waiting life's not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Cringe. Literally cringe. But it's so true. It's like about taking the good from a situation. So spot on. Like, so spot on. Just come out of a situation, like, taking the good from a situation, or not even taking the good, just getting through the bad and not waiting for the bad to come. Like, just taking, you know, like when you're always waiting for Friday, you're always waiting for summer, you're always waiting for the weekend. No, like, just wake up on a Monday and be like, okay, this is good. Like, go through that rain. Not saying that your weeks are rains, like a storm, but personally, like, I think that I missed out on so many things in school because, like, growing up, I was like, okay, it's just for the weekend, and it's like, oh my god, if I had just taken it day by day and appreciated, like, my days and not always sat around waiting for the weekend, waiting for summer, just appreciated my time, I think that I would have been a lot happier. And that is my 18 lessons as an 18-year-old girl. Not 18 for much longer. I say that, there's still 2 full months to go, but 18 and 10 months They are lessons from 18 lessons from an 18-year-old. They're personal, but I do think that if someone had told me them years ago, I would have been a lot happier. I would have looked having a different outlook in life. But that's how it goes. You learn your lessons, you move on. If you had thought differently, you more than likely wouldn't have been where you are now. So that is it.